Hello, this is P. Labrie, and this is my daily video, live on Facebook, for today, Friday, June 26, the year 2020. And apparently today is Take Your Dog to Work Day, registered trademark. I found that interesting. Well, it's on Friday of the third full week in June since 1996. Apparently there's a Take Your Dog to Work Day, registered trademark, a Take Your Cat to Work Day, registered trademark, and Take Your Pet to Work Week, registered trademark. So there must be a whole bunch of these things all scattered about a week. And they have something about their registered trademark. Host an online Take Your Dog to Work Day photo contest, or call for photos on your website or social media pages. So if I was to, not doing that, if I was to actually call for photos of anybody who took their dog to work, and I would be in violation of a trademark. This is from Pet Sitters International, PSI. And I actually put a link on him on my feed in both Facebook and Twitter. An example of somebody creating a trademark for, I don't know, something pretty ordinary, and trying to run a business off it, perhaps. I'm not sure. But I thought that was interesting. And on this day in history, in 1945, the United Nations Charter was signed. Delegates from the 50 nations signed the United Nations Charter, establishing the world body as a means of helping to stop another world war happening. It seemed that the League of Nations did not work. Though essentially League of Nations has exactly the same mission, though they didn't exactly know about the world wars that coming. And they had these same countries participating, and they had a lot of the same values written that they didn't work. And in 1948, the U.S. and British pilots began delivering food and supplies by airplane to Berlin after the city is isolated by the Soviet Union blockade. When World War II ended in 1945, defeated Germany was divided into 4 equal zones of occupation: the Soviet, American, British, and French zones. The city of Berlin physically lies within the Soviet zone of occupation. But Berlin, being the capital, was also split up into 4 zones, even though they were physically located in the Soviet zone. In June 1948, Joseph Stalin and his government attempted to consolidate their control over Berlin by cutting off all land and sea routes into Berlin for any of the other countries. So 2 million people were deprived of food, heating oil, critical supplies, everything. They couldn't get anything because nothing by railway, by truck, nothing can get to West Berlin or any of the other section of Berlin. Though some in U.S. President Harry S. Truman's administration called for a direct military response to the Soviet move, which was called aggressive, Truman worried that this response could trigger another world war. Instead, he authorized an airlift, which became a massive deal because you had to airlift everything. The massive scale of the airlift made a huge logistical challenge, and at times a great risk. Apparently, they were landing airplanes at Tempelhof Airport every 4 minutes. And sometimes pilots would have to like 2, 3, or more flights a day because there were so many airplanes going in and out of the airport. And this was around the clock, 24/7, continuously. Because of course, you just can't stop eating or heating your homes in the wintertime or anything. The Soviets lifted the blockade in May of 1949, having earned the scorn of virtually the entire international community for subjecting innocent men, women, and children to hardship and starvation, which is in effect what was going on. And so that ended. In 1959, the St. Lawrence Seaway was opened in a ceremony presided by U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower and Queen Elizabeth II. The St. Lawrence Seaway is officially open, creating a navigational channel from the Atlantic Ocean to all the Great Lakes. And today's Bible verse of the day. Now the Lord is the Spirit. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:17, English Standard Version. Shakespeare quote of the day. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. And that's from Julius Caesar, Act 3, Section 2. And we have 3 quotes. To end off my show, it's from the same person, a former U.S. president. And the first quote is, I've said many a time that I think the Un-American Activities Committee in the House of Representatives was the most un-American thing in America. Second quote, you can never get all the facts from just one newspaper. And unless you have all the facts, you cannot make popular judgments about what is going on. And for the third quote, it is amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit. And that was from former President Harry S. Truman. And that's it for my show. Thank you for everybody who's watching it, and for anybody who will watch it on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, because they are also putting the video on YouTube. And this is P. Labrie with my daily video. Over and out.